Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you today for the new session of the Google Developer Group's initiative for the MENA region in this period. So the session is about user research methods in UX design, quantitative and qualitative research and methods. So I am Nouha Jaafar, Google Developer Group Carthage Lead, Women Tech Makers Ambassador, and local UX design instructor for the UX Masterclass by Google. And actually, I am founder of Lollipop in Tunisia. And here you can find my Twitter, and we can connect when you want and ask me questions even on Twitter later. So this session is for user research, which is essential for placing your users in the center of your design process. This presentation is a summary of some user research methods that will allow participants to create designs that are truly relevant for users and are easy and pleasurable to use. For this presentation, if you are professional UX designers, students, or willing to learn UX design and how it works, if you are working with a team of designers, UX designers, and developers, this presentation is important for you. So for today's schedule, we are going to go through UX design think process, a quick definition, user research methods, qualitative and quantitative research methods, how I can conduct user testing successfully, example of research practice we worked on as a group, time for evaluation after this, so keep attention on all details in this presentation. I have a gift for you at the end, and you can ask your question. So the session will be in English, and we do have many other sessions in Arabic and French, so stay tuned for this also. So before starting with user research methods, we have to go through a quick definition of UX design thinking process. UX design thinking is a creative process using multiple methods that allows you to go from general and abstract ideas, like we see here at the beginning of any project, then to define problems, opportunities, and needs, in which we seek to understand the user to be more specific and concrete with innovative solutions at the end. So the most important thing to understand is how to find those insights and how we can understand problems, opportunities, and needs, and how we can measure all these. And remember that we are using the iterative UX design thinking process, starting from inspiration, which where there is understand and emphasize phases, going after this to ideation and implementation. So this is the whole process of the UX design thinking, and it's an iterative process that we are using on our projects and with our startups also. And remember also, for those who know the UX design process and try to work on with, that you are not the user. This is why we do researches, and we start with user research methods, which are qualitative and quantitative, that we are going to see in this session. So the UX design, it's user-centered design. That means that we need to have data about users to measure and to analyze, and finally to find solutions. This will give us results and information about users, their behaviors, feelings, and more problems, and what they need and what they not need actually. Results are information about people, telling us how people are living the experience, how they are interacting with the product, and when. If there is problems, relevant needs, or other opportunities also. There is also information about numbers of people, how many did that like this new feature, and how many found problems using our new feature. How this? We are going to start to analyze this. Actually, we do have informations in the right hand, and how many of informations. And when these all data is paired, will give better results and more impacts. User research actually includes many methods, depends on results we need to have. So we are going to go through user research methods, which is a set of tools and techniques that contribute to better products, services, and systems through a deep understanding of the target user. How this? Better products? Yes, they have to be useful, they have to solve a real problem and satisfy a need. Better products, they have to be usable and they have to be sustainable and viable and progress all the time. So you have to remember that those user research methods allow us to have better products. During the life cycle of our product and through the UX design process that help us to improve our mobile applications, we do remember that we have to go through the iterative UX design thinking process. Here, I just have many circles to talk about tests and results, that we have to do research in every step, every time, to understand, empathize, define, ideate, prototype also. And this is an iterative way. Let's go through user research methods. How? Actually, there are two types of methods, which are quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative means how much, qualitative how and why. Qualitative research in UX design, we often use qualitative research to gather observations and insights about users, products, or services. Here we are going to give you some popular user research methodologies, including interviews, field studies, qualitative usability testing. And in the final of the presentation, I will give you an example of usability testing that we worked on, to go through and to explain you how we worked on it and how we faced things to do our tests and our studies. And here we are going to see goals of qualitative researches. Qualitative research, their goal is to discover problems or opportunities in the user experience. The goal is also to investigate why something is happening, to find new insights and ideas, or to find ways to fix problems and learn how. This is an example. When there is a feature that is not popular as we expected, I think that we have to find why. And I think that we have to do interviews and tests with users and to observe them, to ask them, and to collect all this data to understand why they are not liking this feature or not using this. The solution here is we can test this feature with a small number of users, observe them and listen to them. We can discuss the problems with our team and propose solutions through new features, test and validate the new proposals also. I just want to talk about it. User target testing. It's very important to know that we can test 5 to 8 people. By interviewing five people, you can discover more than 80% of usability problems. After 9, we can notice decreasing outcomes. But this is for one iteration. Do several tests as your design evolves. So for one feature, we can do the test with 5 to 8 people, and to validate or to change, we do modifications and we have to retest again with 5 to 8 people. We're going to see quantitative research and methods now. So here we gather numbers and percentages that describe some aspect of the user experience. Those numbers are known as UX metrics. Yes, of course. So popular quantitative user research methodologies include analytics, heat maps, A/B testing, surveys, and quantitative usability testing. Quantitative, when to use? When benchmarking your product or service and want to know more about your competitors and how much huge or not are their impacts. When you want to know the priority or scale of the problem. If you want to compare alternative design options, you can use A/B testing to have more data and numbers that will inform your decision. The question that I have received always that how I conduct user testing successfully, and this is a quick answer for this. Some steps to conduct user testing successfully is to define first testing objectives and goals. Start by clearly outlining your user testing goals. Second, you can choose a testing method that we have seen and we are going through in the next slides. Third, find representative users. 4, create task scenarios. 5, replicate the testing environment. 6, analyze the findings. 7, test, analyze, and repeat. Here we are going to see some user research methods that you can use on your tests of your mobile applications and websites. Focus groups. Groups of 3 to 12 participants brought together to engage in guided discussion, giving verbal and written feedback through the talk of the exercise. So to do a test with a group, you can gather 3 to 12 participants and engage them in a discussion and ask them questions that you have to write before the interview. Interviews refers to one-to-one conversation between an interviewer and a participant to discuss in depth what the latter thinks about a specific topic. And this is amazing. When you collect your data, you have to meet your users and watch them and ask them questions. These are one-to-one interviews, and they will give you many feedbacks that will help you to improve your product. Email surveys, which is also a user research method. A survey conducted by email most typically uses electronic email to contact members of the sample. Here you can send Google Forms so they can answer to them, and you can collect data with quantitative and qualitative informations. You can know about your users and know how many and how much users are answering and how many users are having this problem or not. The concept testing is also a user research method. A researcher shares an approximation of a product or service that provides the key essence, the value proposition of a new concept or product in order to evaluate consumer acceptance of the idea, if it meets their needs or not. It can be done one-on-one or with larger number of participants and either in person or online. The concept testing actually is to validate concepts. We can do this in an earlier stage of your product, and even when you do wireframes on papers. So you can validate your features or you can improve them. Also, customer feedback is essential on user research methods. It's gathered information provided by selected sample users, often done by a feedback link, form, or email. So when your user finish using, or even when you want, send him an email or messages or even links so they can provide you feedbacks on your product. The card sorting also, it's a quantitative or qualitative method. So it can give you actually information about how much and who is using your product. This method that asks users to organize items into groups and assign categories to each group. This method helps to create or refine the information architecture of the site by exposing user mentor models. And how we can do this? by giving our users some cards and letting them put in card as they want, and we want to see how they can see our website, architecture of our information, etc. The A/B testing, it's also known as multivariate testing, live testing, or bucket testing. This is a method of testing different designs on a website of a site by assigning groups of users randomly to interact with each in the different designs by measuring the effect on the user behavior. Actually, how we do this, we put two designs and we let the users test those products, and finally we can have a better result by comparing these two designs. Here we are going to show you some an example of research practice we worked on, actually, so that you can understand how is user research important, and certainly quantitative and qualitative informations. User research we used here is usability research and evaluation. So we can find problems that are discovered through observing users' interaction with the interfaces. How we are doing this, or how we did this, user tests apply on high fidelity models and real applications. I want to mention that high fidelity models can be done by developed products, or even with high fidelity prototypes. Why we do this and how to accomplish a task in the website. So understanding also at the screen level and general understanding of what functionality does. Usability research and test helps to identify usage, understanding issues of the product feeds. User tests will also answer these questions. Is this an understandable feed? Did we get the details correctly? Formulations, navigation of the website? Is this feed accessible to visually impaired users also or not? Because we always design for accessibility. Usability assess methods. Here we can distinguish three categories of basic usability assess methods. The first one is inspection methods. The second one is experimental methods. The third one is survey methods. I think that you can also take notes of all these informations. Maybe it's new for you, but we are using this, and I am going to explain how we did this methods: inspection, experimental, and surveys. The inspection method actually requires the usability specialist judgment in determining whether a user interface conforms to the usability principles or not. The usability specialists judge either according to their own point of view or based off the observation of the interface simple users. Design directive and standards are conformity inspections on which an interface is checked according to a complete list of user directive and international standards. Inspection methods actually are done by experts. Experimental methods involve the observation of individual users performing specific tasks with the system under evaluation. In this method, evaluators are appropriate and users who perform representative tasks under the discrete presence of usability experts. What means that when we do experimental methods, we need to find real users and to give them our product to test and to report everything we are watching or hearing, and asking them questions, and to do interviews one-to-one with them. Experimental methods actually, typically the method lasts between 1 and 2 hours for each individual assessor. Experimental methods include performance, measurement, reflection, and think aloud protocol. So in performance evaluation, system performance is assessed according to the previous criteria that we have made. time needed to complete the task, and easy of finding a way. So when we invite our users to test the website, we ask them to complete a task, maybe by finishing connection or buying a shoe in a website that is putting shoes to buy. And we have to note in our report that the time needed to complete a task and how easy it's to find a way or not. Third, survey methods. The most two important survey methods are user interviews and questionnaires. In these methods, ergonomic experts ask users direct questions about the system. The answers can help assessors to draw conclusions about the parts that are difficult for users of the system, of the interface. Here, there is a real project we worked on. Images are blurred because it was a client. So just to put some images to show you how we worked on the project and how we went through all the process of testing and usability, etc. In this case, 5 evaluators were involved. Remember that we said we can do tests with 5 to 8 users. In this case, our evaluators were a software development consultant, a designer, and the other 3 target users. So we asked our client how is the type of the users and who are the users of his website, and we tried to find users that match more his criteria. And here they are observed using the assessment methods that we have previously mentioned. So the users started with testing the website, and we started watching them and reporting all details. The study method, how we did. During the study, the evaluators received the website interface, and we encouraged them to check the website during the study. Usage problem we revealed. Several usage issues were reported by more than one reviewer, confirming that 4 to 5 reviewers typically expose around 80% of all use problems. In the following paragraphs, the violation detected for each evaluation rule are presented and discussed. And this theory is mentioned by Nelson in 10 heuristics usability. We have detected actually the following issues. The visibility of the system state, which describes the problems in general, encounter between the system and the real world, cartography, mapping, etc. We can easily find the information or not. Third, user control and freedom. 4, consistency and standard. 5, error prevention. 6, recognition rather than recall. 7, flexibility and efficiency of use. 8, aesthetic and minimalist design. 9, users can recognize and recover from errors. 10, help and documentation. And these are all from the usability heuristics principle presented by Nelson that we are using in usability tests, and we have to mention in usability reports. Usability test result. In this table, actually, we listed all faced problems by users after the evaluation of the website page. The proposed solution of each problem, its priorities, or if it's a technical solution concerning development, or concerns the design, colors, location, etc. So we divided this in a problem found, and we tried to suggest improvements and to mention the nature of the solution and its priority. These are some examples of the table, how we can work. So we go page by page in the dashboard. We ask the users to start using, to do many tasks, and we notice the problems. And here we tried to set improvements, and we mentioned the nature of the solution, and if it's development, design, etc., and the level of the priority. Here, the level of the priority is mentioned as a priority for users. The client or the development team will be specific on this to say that priority will be technical, high or level, high level, sorry, or medium level or other. So we had worked on many pages, and these are our results of testing the website and reporting usability in the report. So here I want to give you some advices for who are working on user research, maybe starting and or are working as user experience designer, to use variety of methods in your UX process. Try to work on a group to have share more and learn more. Try to learn, practice, and for sure iterate more and more. We are in the evaluation time, and we are going to ask you some questions actually, and to know if you take some notes or not. Yalla, we start. So the first question is why we do user research? I would like to receive your answers actually in the chat. We will give you right answers also. I'm watching your actually I'm watching your answers too, to know more about users. Grade C, find solutions to real problems. B, to know more about users. Okay. Find solutions to real problems. Great. I think it was great. Nice. And C also. Yes. Find solutions to real problems. Yes, this is it. We have two answers actually. Why we do user research? So to know more about users and to find solutions to real problems. Great. To get user experience also. Yes. I will come back to this slide. Yes, this is B and C. So the second question is how many users we can interview to get efficient results? 20 to 30, 5 to 8, or 100 to 200? B? Yes, this is great. 5 to 8 users. Yes. But I have to mention this for one iteration, right? This is not 100 to 200, no. Actually, it depends on the percentage of your users. Okay. This is, the answer is B, 5 to 8. The third question is, can you enumerate usability assess methods? There are 3. Do you remember this or not? We have 3 usability assess methods. when we did the usability test, we used 3 methods. The first one is ذاكرة ضعيفة. Okay, we are going to say the first one is inspection methods. Yes, survey method. There is a third one, inspection done by experts. The survey is done by the team, and experimental is done by users. Great. So the usability assess methods are 3. Inspection methods, which are done by experts. So designers, expert designers, or expert developers can watch your product and evaluate if there is problems on design and on code, etc. The experimental methods are done by real users on your website, and survey method are done actually by the team, and they have to do interviews with the users. Great. The first question is usability testing result enough to gather informations and feedbacks? Is usability testing result enough to gather information and feedback? No? Yes? Actually, the answer is no. Yes, because yes, not enough. You can use variety of methods in your user experience process. You can use quantitative and qualitative tests to have more results. Great. Nice. We need interviews, right? Great, you did it. You did it. I'm really happy for this. Nice. You answered our questions, and we have more details. It's one way to collect information about your users. Yes, you need also to do more tests with your users to know more about them, and to use methods we listed in this presentation. Nice. My gift, I have a gift for you also, after answering all these questions. Actually, to start with UX research, there's this book which where we can find 15 different research methods. Each method consists instructions aimed to getting you in the field of gathering insights as quickly as possible. As visual example in storyboard form is included with each method. And methods cover situations like user testing, discovering user preference and behavior, narrowing project focus with stakeholders. This book, you can find it on internet, but these ones you can find it in the link, actually. The link will be shared on the chat, and all of you can have all those books. Great. So we are going through your questions, actually. Do you have some questions? I'm going to take your questions, actually. Yes. Actually, for user research, I invite you to learn more about user research methods, etc. I am going to give you access to the link, and please read those books. Okay, so if you have questions, I'm ready for this. If you are designers, developers, The use of professional icons contributes to improve the user experience. Right. We can use icons and images and for some situations because people are used to link images to texts, so it's more easy for them to recognition. Yes, great. How can we do evaluate systems for disabled users? Actually, yes, you have to go to see them, to watch them, to talk to them, to talk also with doctors, and to have more informations. Talking to doctors is very, very important also. Great. What if I had a website? The question is, what's the best way to get feedback from my users? So, as we mentioned here, I'm going through the quantitative and qualitative methods. Yes, for a website, you have to the first. Okay. First of all, you have to mention why you will have uh, results of tests. Yes, this is the slide. So first of all, you have to define testing objectives. Start by clearing, outline your user testing goals. Okay. Second, choose a testing method. We mentioned here many methods of testing that you can take note and try um, to keep on your project, etc. Find representative users. This is important also. Replicate the testing environment. Analyze the findings. Test, analyze, and repeat. So, for quantitative results, if in the first here, how I conduct user testing, you have to put your goal of doing the test. So you come back to quantitative and qualitative methods. You can use analytics. Google Analytics can give you some results. The heat maps for websites can give you results and quantitative ones. The A/B testing also, and you decide. If you have two designs, you can do A/B testing and to get the best design you want. Surveys to ask your users if they are liking the website or not, and quantitative usability testing also, as we did with inspection methods, experimental methods, and survey methods. Later, we can try start with qualitative research, with interviews, field studies, and qualitative usability testing. Okay, I hope I answered your question, Mustafa. Oui, yes. Yes, more questions. How we can download the slides? They will share with you the slides. It's the better to use the sliding menus than to display the icons directly in the front of the user. This question. Actually, I like this question because to know which is the best sliding menu to your user, I invite you to work on one or two or three maybe proposals and test them with your users. Your users will decide if this one is the best or not. Yes, and quantitative results of your tests will ensure you with information about this. How I can choose one of the methods that may be good for me? Great question. Actually, when you go through all those slides and when you go through all this session, you will find quantitative and qualitative results. When you put at first these testing objectives and you start by outlining your user testing goals. This slide is very important and it can tell you how you can conduct your user testing successfully, actually. And believe me, you have to try with it 1, 2, 3 times. It will be succeed. Yes. So first, you have to define objectives. If you want or you need to have quantitative results or qualitative results. From this point, you can decide which method you are going to use. Next, if your product is just on paper, you have just wireframes, etc., you are going to apply the concept testing. So you bring users and you test with the users your wireframes, do interviews and surveys to have results. If your product is a high fidelity one or is a mock-up high fidelity or it's online website, you can use the usability test that we mentioned in this session, so you have results and to know more about your users. Remember, in this session, we had usability research, some methods, inspection, experimental, and survey methods. Okay, can apply it as a project? Maybe for the research methods? Yes, of course. Great. Okay. Like a master or doctorate research, it's gonna be useful. Depends on your field, actually. Yes. This is great. If you have more questions, you can ask them in the chat also. Or maybe, most welcome. Thank you. I hope that this session was helpful for everyone. And I really hope that you connect with me so I can see your research methods and I can see your reports of usability and how you conducted some usability tests. Yes, I will give you access to the books. Thank you, everyone. So I'm going to give you the access to the book, actually. Yes, and don't forget, to have your certificate of this session, you can go to with this link of feedback, and also we have the challenges of every week. You can have gifts book and Google Mini Homes also. So we are going to say goodbye, and do not forget to build good things together. And thank you, everyone. I'm going to give you access to the books, and don't forget to connect with me on Twitter also. Goodbye, everyone.